Hey, John, thank you for coming on today.
It's my pleasure, Jason.
John, I know you represent a lot of players in different sports. One of the things that players may come to you for advice about is, maybe one of their friends or one of their uncles or someone in their family, or maybe something they don't know. They say, look, John, I got this like great opportunity to invest in this particular thing. How do you advise them through that?
That's why I put my lawyer hat on. I mean, if it's a private placement memorandum, I can just review the documents and tell them, what they're getting themselves into. I mean, usually they're going to be a preferred stockholder as a passive investment. It's going to have no voting rights, but I basically say, these are the risks. There could be some red flags, meaning there could be, pending litigation claims. There could be contested trademarks for this business. There could be no operating history. More than anything, I don't invest my players' money for them, but
Right.
all I can do is just tell them black and white. This is what the investment says it is, and at the end of the day, it's their decision whether they want to invest or not.
Now, what are some of these red flags that when you start doing the due diligence, just kind of looking through this company, one of the things that kind of pops up to you is like, I don't know about this. What are some of the red flags that you kind of see right off the bat?
Pending litigation, whether it be claims from former employees or claims from third parties. It could be like IP infringement, you name it. But any pending claims that are out there, those are always worrisome.
Now, is that a situation where they could be a pending litigation? They're not trying to tell the investors about it to try to make sure they get money, or they're trying to float the company. In what situations where there's pending litigation is it concerning to you?
Length, if the claim was ever filed, how long it's been in suit, what's the status of it? Is there a settlement claim? Is there some discussions? Is it in discovery? Is there a trial scheduled? Those are red flags. But again, any investment, they should all go to the issuer, to the promoter, or to the company and ask more questions. Like, please give us more information. Give us the court filings. Give us something. That's public information, but a status of whether these are actually just allegations or whether these are legitimate claims that could really hurt the standing or the operation of the company or the investment opportunity.
So that seems like one spectrum that we're talking about, because obviously if there's some type of pending litigation, the business has been operating for some time. But you also talked about the thing about companies that may not have a great operating history whatsoever, and there seems to be a lot of emptiness behind it. Is that also something that you're very concerned about?
Well, it's funny because I just had this a matter come across my desk. One of my players was looking to buying a franchise, and this is a very new franchise with no operating history whatsoever. Um, Again, there's always startups, but for what the investment was worth or what they were asking for with no other units out there, I just thought it was a red flag. Again, it might be a great opportunity. It's not my position to say whether this is a great business, but again, these are things that I just highlight, and again, it's up to the player and their accountants, their financial advisors, and I guess my legal input.
Now, John, not only do you help people with investment questions, not like what to invest in, but just in terms of the legal ramifications of them. What other things do you help players or other clients in terms of your practice?
Yeah, it's actually besides being an agent, which is half of my time, another half of my time is actually helping my entrepreneur clients prepare for life after. Actually, I represent baseball players, life after baseball. So a lot of their own startups, I help draft private placement memorandum, try to raise capital, invest in institutional VC funding or seed money, whatever their goals are to further their business interests. I try to do.
Yeah, John, what I like about you is when people come to you with just an idea, you really are able to create that structure and really think through the best structure for them at an early on stage versus picking a structure kind of willy-nilly by themselves. And as they grow, they start seeing all these issues. And you really see kind of like the long-term building blocks that you can set up for them right away.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is, like limited liability companies are easier governance wise, but investors don't like it. They don't want to see a K1 return at the end of the day. So if a client comes with an idea that they're going to get investors in the future, it makes sense just to start with a corporation right off the bat. I guess try to problem solve before they become problems, or, you know, I guess, I don't know. That's what I try to do.
Well, that saves us some ton of money in the future, right? The litigation costs, the headache, but also it can get them a lot of money too, where a very important investor that might bring them to the next level is now seeing the company as more of like a thing that they're more comfortable investing a lot of money in when they're trying to get into the next stratosphere.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I can't help with the operational history. I can't help with revenue or cash balance sheets, but at least with the structure of the entity, I can help with that, help with materials, and help with, you know, disclosures, things, you know, all things that traditional corporate, you know, attorneys do. Again, it's always difficult when you represent a player, a client as a player, and then later when you transition into, you know, the real world or the business world, you know, you try to grow with them and try to help their the next stage in their career.
Now, John, when you were saying that, say if a person picked an LLC without your help, not getting the great advice that you would give them, but then later on realize that that's not the right thing for them, how difficult it is then to change into a corporation format?
In Massachusetts, it's a little bit more difficult to convert Massachusetts LLC to Massachusetts corporation. This is Delaware LLC. That's an easier conversion. So it's state by state, you know, analysis. So it really just depends on where they formed it, and if I was involved, that's hopefully I don't lead them astray that way. But it really just depends. It's a case by case scenario.
Yeah, so I think that's the important thing of having you early on, because not only does it could possibly get them more money and save them money in the future, but also saves them a lot of time during a part which they may need to really save that time for due diligence, or if they're being acquired, that's going to be something important for them later on. It saves them a tremendous amount of time down the road.
I try to add value to the whole process.
Well, that's great, John. Thanks for coming on and giving us all these tips. Let's have you back again soon.
Anytime. Thanks again, Jason. Take care.